Washington DC.
It's Trump.
Must be. Donald.
Roll. John.
Here.
Dale.
Here.
Mark is absent tonight. Sean.
Here.
Troy's here. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
We adjourn. Second.
Moved by Dale and seconded by Sean to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now I gotta wait till 6:05.
Yeah, whatever. I think last year you guys did like 6:15 or something like that. Gave
I was
it a
looking
little-
at the agenda.
Oh,
What's the agenda say?
6:05 you
6:05.
start talking about budget.
Oh, yeah.
Approval of the budget.
We got ahead on the agenda.
Not really, 6:02.
We're doing pretty good. I guess the only thing I would like to talk about is like the library's budget, those set mill ones. We base them off of the taxable value with the 4% increase. Basically, we did that throughout this entire budget. Now with all of these changes, the taxable value is going to go up, so those budgets are not, we have a dollar figure in there, so they're not even going to be close.
Well, it's not gonna change that much, Samantha. It's
No.
only gonna change $29 million on the whole county.
Okay.
So the taxable value is only gonna change by what, 1.5 million or something, 1.4?
Okay.
We gotta wait.
I mean, yeah,
We gotta talk about that, though.
go ahead.
Well, I mean, when they're, don't we want this, okay. So we gotta lock these things right where they're at. Because.
Absolutely.
We can't increase right now.
That's what
Right.
Samantha said.
Right, because otherwise we'll end up, I mean, there's still a problem here with what has taken place with all these increases to valuations. We're still $14,750 over what we were last year. I don't wanna be accused of adding to this thing. I think we need to trim $14,700 and some dollars out of this so that we're the exact same dollar figure as last year, so we can say we did not raise the budget 1 penny. That is that somebody else is doing this, not us.
What would have come up a portion of that if we'd have just gone to the 90% on the ag values, right?
Well, no, we're budgeting in dollars,
Yeah.
No.
not mills, so it doesn't matter, but
The changes that were ordered by the state are just gonna reshuffle the deck.
they're gonna yeah.
But the dollars in the budget aren't gonna change.
No, but the argument's still gonna be that what happened is gonna raise taxes. And then the argument will be, well, yeah, if the budget's increased, and our budget has increased by $14,000, no, I think that should be corrected. That's why I voted not to approve this one, if you remember right.
Yeah, I don't have any heartburn. It's gonna go up a little bit because the state's forcing us to do 1 mil on the state
State
hospital.
yeah.
That's the only mill levy that will stay the same after we're done here.
How about Garrison?
Yeah, Garrison will.
Oh, Garrison will stay the same.
We can't at this point we can't increase, we can only decrease. The only entity that can increase from
Is
this
the
point
state.
is actually the school.
Yeah, all the more reason to keep ours exactly as it was last year and show what the increase did.
What, no, say that again.
The school is the only one at this point that can increase their mills from what the estimated tax statements were.
They can?
Increase their budget, not the mills.
Right. No, their budget. They're the only ones at this point that can increase. Everybody else can only decrease.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that until I got the,
So they drop their about $50 a quarter, just roughly from from the estimates they sent out.
They didn't levy for their special revenue fund.
Okay,
This year.
That was the difference.
Yep.
That was the difference.
So there's no, they probably won't increase their budget, who knows?
No.
I know, theoretically they could take advantage of the increase in,
Valuation,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean they have
But
to.
they weren't taking advantage of the full valuation at this point anyway, so.
Well, I think they might have, I don't know what their books, but specials, those special reserve funds can only be so big.
Yeah,
So maybe they ran up against it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
but it's kind of a tricky deal when you talk about like the library. You know, Bonnie's argument has always been that if we don't budget or levy the 4 mills, they don't get state funding. But the state doesn't have their tax or their equalization meeting until the end of September, and at that point you can't increase. So then,
They usually budget a little bit higher than they think the mill is gonna be.
yeah, but it's kind of like it could be an argument for Bonnie to go to the state like, I didn't know what a mill was gonna be worth.
They never do.
Right.
It's kind of by design.
That's why you should budget for what you need, not what you can.
But that's why you budget in dollars. Well, then why is it that if we don't levy the 4 mills that they don't get state funding?
I don't know if that's true or not. Because we don't even have, I don't believe that's true, because we don't have the ability to levy 4 mills for them either. Anyway, if it was 2 mills was the vote, and it's based on the vote, and then 2 mills were appropriated through the bookmobile.
Mhm.
That was a federal deal. The limit says up to 4 mills, but as far as I can tell, the only vote that's ever been on the library was the original 2 mills. They're gonna fix that next year, they say, so we'll get to see what, but it doesn't matter, it will never be a set mill levy, and it shouldn't be. The language always has to say up to.
Mhm.
They submitted a budget to us, and that's all they can do at this point, is what the budget is.
Correct.
What dollar amount did they give us? Is that the one that's in there?
Well, they gave you a different
Yeah.
dollar amount and then you guys decided on. Because you didn't want to put in their max because then that front page is all messed up because then it looks like we're giving them, like our budget's going sky high even though it would cut us off at that. We didn't want it to look like we're making the budget huge.
So they last year they had 74, 213, 77. This year is 75, 346, 48.
Well, that wasn't 4 mills.
Hmm?
That wasn't 4 mills then.
Last year they got just under 4 mils. They got
3.96.
3.96, yeah.
Well, they can never know what the full 4 mills is gonna be, cause that information isn't available till after their budget is set, so.
Well, you can figure it real easy.
That's why you're not supposed to budget in mills, Dale.
No, I know,
Yeah, I
that's,
know.
that's why they do it that way, is because they're supposed to
Yeah,
be.
well, that's what I'm saying, is
Yeah.
they can't, if
No, I
it's,
think we do nothing.
if it's accurate that they don't get their state funding, if they don't get the full 4 mills, they can never know what that number is, so that can't be,
That doesn't
How
make
it
any
works.
sense to me.
can't work that way.
$14,479.19. Is what we're above what we were levied last year. You go to page. Second page. Go over the burden. Right-hand column is what the increase or decrease over last year was. So the big increases were the Veterans Service Office, but in actuality, they lowered their expenditures by about $600. It was just carryover we were dealing with that kept that levy low. And then the other ones are the health district. That's probably not similar. And the rest of them are the subject to the fixed mill. Other than the Water Resource District. It increased its levy by $21,000.
But you guys decreased that one quite a bit last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just leave it alone.
I think we should decrease the Water Resource Board by $13,000. Where's my from this afternoon?
Drawer. Monthly office reports are in the beginning.
Huh?
The monthly office reports are right in the
Right in front.
beginning, yep.
And here's why. I went through and looked at this. Is it ripped out of here?
No, that's before the paste, the base starts.
I was right in this one. After this.
What in the world? Is that the right one?
No. It isn't. Oh, one's the wrong way.
Marks.
I'll have to do my figuring again. Alright. There it is. So the water board, the funds available to them if they collected what they have to from the drains that they borrowed or taken money to, would have $11,000 from this year's budget. That if you take the checking account minus what's in the budget, and they would have $144,000 total from the proceeds of TBO, Silver Creek, both Silver Creeks. So they can operate, it would be incentive for them to collect that money.
It might not be able to collect it all within the year.
Should be levied now.
Huh?
They're levied.
TBO4? No. They haven't even got engineering estimates yet. It might not get built this fall. I think we should leave it just like it is. We got the right guys on there doing the right things for the right reasons. If they get it levied and they don't spend the money, they're not gonna go spend it just so they can. That's my opinion.
The TBO for, I think they'll get it levied this year. Basically, they have to start getting it levied, or it's gonna be,
They'll run out of time.
well, but the longer you spread out that levy, the more of a burden it is on the people that are.
Cause the repayment's gonna get compressed.
Yeah, it's,
I understand that.
At 15 years now, if they get it levied for next year.
Understand that, but if the game and fish gets out of the way of their permit, it'll get built.
yeah. Well, I don't think they'll get it built this fall,
I don't think so.
cause there's a lead time on getting that, on the pipe going down the river hill.
Well, they gotta bid it, and somebody's gotta, some contractor's gonna have to do it.
Yeah, but
It's getting to be crunch time.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that pipe, from the time the contractor orders it, it takes X amount of days for it to get produced.
Sure. Anyway. Tom went to Hope on Tuesday, met with Senator Hoven, Senator Kramer, the Secretary of the Interior, the Undersecretary of the Interior, explained this whole thing to him. I hope they can help him get this thing done. And I just don't want to. They're not here. They think they're going to get what they asked for. We've been doing this. This process has been in play for a long time. But it's up to you guys.
I guess I would like to see the water board come up short, just so it doesn't affect the process of finishing these projects. I don't know if that little bit amount of money.
I'm not opposed to changing any budget, but it should be done before this point in time.
No, tried. You guys want to go home.
No, we think you're wrong, John. That's why we get the vote.
I know. Just because you guys
I'm gonna pull the George.
I can't try again now.
I'm gonna pull the George Bird line on you pretty soon.
So the other place to take the money from is out of the reserve fund in the general fund.
I wouldn't have any heartburn for doing that. We don't have, it's not earmarked for anything.
No, it's insurance is what it is. What is that, Sam?
Schedule B, page 15A.
Right. And if we don't get a tax director hired for a few months,
I was just looking at that one too.
What's that?
Tax director.
if we don't get a tax director hired for a few months, we could amend the budget at the end of the year. If we had to use that reserve, if we didn't have enough.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't stop the levy. It's been levied. Once we do here, whatever we do with the budget is, the money's gonna be levied. It's gonna be, we're gonna collect $14,000 over.
I know that.
Right.
If we amend that reserve and we don't get a tax director hired for 4 months, that will be kinda close to the same amount of money. If at the end of the year we need a little bit more in the reserve, we can move it. That's where I was going.
I see.
So maybe we should do that.
You know, we've already lowered the reserve by $130,000. That's what we've done.
And then another thing is if you lower the general fund then for this year, then we're gonna have to keep it about the same next year, you know, if you keep, because we always try and make that, this number come out to zero.
Mhm.
So then if
That,
you,
then that's exactly why we lowered it by the $130,000 this
Mhm.
year, is in order to balance the general fund.
Mhm.
I got blinders on, but it's obvious to me to where the money should come from.
Yep.
Tell them to quiet it.
huh?
Tell them to quiet it.
So the reserve would be right at 300, right? Instead of 314.
What's that?
The reserve would be at 300 instead of 314.
No, it's at 234 right now.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, the request,
235.
the request of 314, we dropped it to 235.
235.
And the request, that was just because we had a miscalculation on the incomes on that we dropped it down, then we had to drop it more, correct? On the because we didn't have the revenue correct.
Right.
accomplished one thing. Didn't have to sit and tap our fingers waiting for somebody to show up.
Right?
That only reduces the reserve 2%.
Yeah, no, you're right. But Samantha, the point, the reason we haven't been doing that is because we've been trying to keep the general fund separate from the special funds. Try to control costs that way.
Yeah.
But you're right, I mean, it can be done, it can be done. Now that there's more money now and supplementary income already, so we can just take a little cut next year in the auditor's thing.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Okay, so if you would like to
Yeah.
decrease the reserve in the general fund so that the bottom number becomes zero,
Zero net increase.
that reserve would be $221,834.89.
Yeah.
Because of the rounding and stuff like that, it gets to be that number.
15.
I think they're getting ready to take the water board anyway.
I am?
I know, I think they are.
Yeah, oh. Dang it, I just did all that work.
Take the what?
Take, how about half of it, 7 off the water board and 7 off the reserve.
And 3 off the weed
Probably, yeah, what's that? Actually, I think we should do, we just round to an even 15,000, that's what we should do.
Do we need a motion to that effect?
Someday.
Okay, I'll make a
I don't think
motion.
they're ready yet.
We could lower the reserve by 15,000.
You want to approve the budget? The motion should probably be to approve the budget
As amended.
with a reduction of
With the
15,000
reduction,
in the reserve.
Let's,
But
if you're,
like the rounding issues or whatever, this doesn't come out to exactly like 15,000.
that's right,
And so I have to like go in and like,
I'd make adjustments.
Oh,
yeah, and I have
you
to keep
wanted
going
at
back
net
and
zero-
forth.
You wanted at net
The,
zero.
the motion would be to balance
At a net
the
zero
budget
increase.
by decreasing the,
Reserve.
but before you do that, then if you guys are that set on it, then we gotta make one little adjustment. So let's not lower reserve, let's lower the one below it.
It's my salary, isn't it?
Courthouse and grounds.
Because the reserve can be used for anything.
Yeah, but I already balanced that.
Well,
No,
it'd
it's
be
not.
easier to lower the
it's
water board, you have to balance it
not-
up and just take the
no,
keep
it's-
it up there.
It's not. I was just kidding. It would have to be lowered by $13,789.71 for that bottom number to come up to zero.
Why wouldn't it have to go down to 14,479.19?
Because of the rounding or whatever, because then it like that 5%
Oh,
There's a 5% put in there for non-collected.
Collected.
Yeah.
Oh,
So kind of like, you kind of have to go back and forth on it and.
If I knew how to work, fix that, I'd take that damn thing over there. That shouldn't be in there.
Cause it never happens.
It's never realized because it's the 5% is never realized because what you don't collect in one from that year, you probably collected from the previous year. So it's an unrealized, it's a realized gain, not an unrealized gain. So it about washes because we don't end up with any money hanging. We always collect almost all of it, other than a little bit. So I mean, it could be 2% or 1% would be more realistic.
So what you didn't collect in 18, you collected in 19. and-
Or 20, it was
Yeah,
only
20
3 years.
or-
Yeah,
yeah.
it just
Then-
kicks it down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such it's less than 2%. I mean, it's never been 5%.
No.
Right.
Anyway, so what are we doing? Are we restating a motion? Nobody seconded it?
right. Nobody second. So, let her die, I guess.
We have a motion on the table. Is there a second? Is there a second? Is there a second? Seeing none, motion dies for lack of a second. Anyone want to take another stab at this?
Go for it, Dale.
Throw Johnny a bone.
I'd cut your salary if I could. What was the original motion?
To reduce the reserve by that 14,000 number, and Sam gave us a different number.
And not to reserve if you're gonna do that.
Courthouse and grounds.
So, at this point, if you would like to do that, the courthouse and grounds would need to go to $36,210.29. That is making that decrease, bottom number 0.
36,000 what?
$36,210.29.
210. 36 cents.
29
I'll make
cents.
a motion to approve the budget with the reduction in buildings and grounds to the number Sam said.
36,210.29.
I didn't write it down.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second that.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Under duress, aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried.
Do you want me to put that in the minutes?
Can't ever say I'm not bendable, guys.
Or
20.
Will we adjourn?
the move by Sean that we adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
What happened?
I had nothing.
Is there a second? Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned at 6:37 p.m. Next regular meeting will be on October 18th